Sparkler's web-based dashboard helps educators, doctors, home visitors, and other providers connect with families and easily access data and reports. This training will walk providers through the steps for following up with families after they complete a developmental screening questionnaire using the Sparkler mobile app. When a family completes an Ages and Stages questionnaire using their Sparkler mobile app, they don't get the results automatically. It's up to a professional, their educator, home visitor, or healthcare provider to review the results with them and help them take the next step. Here are 6 steps of the process to help you as a provider to follow up with the families you serve. Step 1. You receive an ASQ results notification from Sparkler in your email. Clicking the link will take you to the child's ASQ results. Step 2. Review the child's results and consider appropriate next steps and recommendations. When you go to the ASQ dashboard, you'll see all of the screenings that have been completed by families who have linked with your program. You'll see the student's name, the ASQ that has been completed, the teacher and parent scores, and the follow-up report. There are 2 different kinds of questionnaires that families can complete. They can do the ASQ SE, which is the social-emotional questionnaire, and they can do the ASQ 3, which is the screening that focuses on the 5 different developmental domains: communication, gross motor, fine motor, problem-solving, and personal social. When you look in this column, or the teacher column, you can see an overview of the scores here. The ASQ 3 is different because it's broken down into 5 different domains, whereas the ASQ SE will only give you 1 overall score. The colors correspond to the score that the child got in each domain. Green means the child scored on track. Yellow means they scored monitor. And red means they scored refer. For the ASQ SE, there's only 1 main score at the end, so you'll either see the word refer, monitor, or on schedule. If you see a red concern, that just means that the parent typed in a concern in one of the open-ended questions. This doesn't have anything to do with the actual numerical score of the questionnaire. Sometimes you'll see that a child scored on track in all areas, and you'll still see the red concern button. This is just flagging that the parent typed in a concern. If you click in, you can go find the parent's concern by clicking into Overall and looking for the little blue circle. The blue circle indicates that the parent typed something in. In this case, it looks like the concern from the parent is that the child is having trouble running and that sometimes it's hard for the parent to understand what the child is saying. Let's practice going through a couple of ASQs together. First, let's pretend we are following up with this parent, Allison, on her ASQ 3 for her 24-month-old. From here, I can see that there are 3 areas marked Refer and 2 areas marked Monitor, and the mom also has a concern. Next, I would click into this and scroll down. Here, you can see the numerical scores should you need them, and then you can click the arrow to expand the section and see all of the answers to the questions. If a teacher also completed the ASQ, you'll see the answers to those questions here. If the answers don't align between the teacher and the parent, they will be highlighted in gold. I would then scroll down and review the answers to the questions. If I see a blue circle, that means the parent added an additional answer, so I would check that. I can see that the child scored monitor in communication. Next is gross motor. I can see that the child scored refer in gross motor, with mom indicating that the child has not started most of these skills yet. Next would be fine motor. I can see the child also scored refer in fine motor. I can see the answers that the mom put in here. And I can see the child also scored refer in problem solving and monitor in personal social. I can also see that the teachers and the parent scores are not lining up in a few areas, such as problem solving, fine motor, and gross motor. This might indicate that the parent didn't understand the questions or that the parent is seeing something different at home, and this is something I would want to discuss with the parent. I would also go down to the overall section and make sure I noticed all of the different comments the parent included in the open-ended section. Next, let's make sure you understand what the ASQ PDF report looks like before we talk through it with the parent. Simply click the PDF button to download it in your preferred language. Here is what an ASQ3 report looks like. From here, you can see the date that the parent and the teacher completed the ASQ. You can also check which age interval this questionnaire was for. When you scroll down, you can see where the child is falling in each domain using this arrow. This arrow indicates where the child is based on the parent's answers, and this arrow indicates where the child is based on the teacher's answers. These color-coded bars make it easy to visually see where the child is falling in each domain as you scroll down. The next page will have some suggested activities that the caregiver can try at home with the child to support development in the 5 different areas. Next, you'll see some upcoming milestones. This lets the caregiver know what to look out for over the next 6 months. The last couple of pages include the full printout of all caregiver answers and teacher answers. You can also see that if the parent typed something in, it will appear underneath the question in a light gray color. Next, let's practice reviewing an ASQSE. I'm going to click into Quinn's 24-month ASQSE. And drop down each section to look at the answers. Both the teacher and the parent completed this, so I can compare responses. It looks like the parent and teacher almost always line up, except for this one question. Does your child have eating problems? I'm going to click into it to see what the parent said. He definitely stuffs food, but he seems aware when it's too much and takes it out. I noticed that the teacher did not have any concerns, so I can keep scrolling down. There is one more area where the teacher and the parent had differing answers. Then I would drop down the overall section, and it looks like the parent only typed in one response, which you can see here. I would scroll back up to the top, and you can see that there is only one section for the ASQSE, meaning there is only one score. This single score is listed here, and it is on schedule. Next, let's make sure we understand how to review the ASQSE PDF. I would click here to download it. This is what the ASQSE report looks like, similar to the ASQ3 report. You can see the date the parent completed it, as well as the teacher, and you can also see the age interval for which it was completed. The difference between the ASQSE and the ASQ3 is that there is only one domain, or one area, to score. You'll see the overall result listed here as on schedule. You might also see monitor or refer listed in this same location. While the questions address multiple behavioral areas, they are all incorporated into one section, unlike the ASQ3, which is broken down into 5 sections. As you scroll down, the report provides suggested activities parents can use to support their child's social-emotional development. The last page includes a full printout of the responses, question by question, from both the parent and the teacher. Any typed-in responses appear in light gray underneath the question, and the overall section appears at the end so you can review any open-ended comments. The ASQSE also allows families to mark a question as an area of concern. If they do this, you'll see it indicated in this column, and that is important to note for your conversation with the family. Time for Step 3. You reach out to and connect with the family to talk through the results and recommend next steps. You can feel free to reach out using Sparkler messaging, or you can call or email the family. You can also schedule an in-person meeting. Please use whatever methods work best for you and the family you are working with. Often, using multiple methods can be the most effective so you can meet families where they are. Step 4. Share the results with the family. Remember that the family will not receive their screening results until you share them. There are a few ways to share the results. You could print out the PDF of the report for the family and share it with them if you are meeting in person. The checkmark shows you which language the family completed the ASQ in, so you can print the report for them in their preferred language. You can also send the report to the parent via email, and they will receive the PDF of the report at the email address they use to sign up for the app. To do this, you'll simply click the Send Results Email button. Then click Send Results Email. If you want to see a history of when you have emailed the family their results, you can click to see all sendouts. Within the dashboard, we have follow-up message templates you can use to summarize your conversation and recommendations to a family after screening. You also have the option to translate these templates into any of the 5 languages available in Sparkler. These messages will go to both the parent or caregiver's email and to their Sparkler in-app messages. Step 5. You complete the follow-up form in Sparkler's dashboard with your recommendations to the family. The follow-up form is simple, but it's really important for your program because it helps you keep track of which families you have followed up with and which ones you haven't. It also provides data on what services have been recommended or accessed based on family screenings. The follow-up report will show in green if it has been completed, and it will show in red if it has not been completed. Let's go into the follow-up form. If the child scored on track, please provide answers where the questions are relevant. For example, in this case, you will only need to answer the first and second question. You will indicate when you talked to the family, and then you can note that everything was on track. If you would like, you can add comments about the conversation and then click Save. You can document how you reached out to the family or note that you were unable to make contact. You can also indicate whether you provided Sparkler activities for the family to complete and list which activities were shared. You can include whether you sent additional materials to the family. The rescreen feature is especially important because it allows you to reopen a screening for a family. For example, a parent may complete the 18-month ASQ and receive a refer score, but the child may be close to mastering several skills. In that case, you may believe the results would look different if the screening were completed again in a month. You can select the rescreen option, choose a date such as 1 month from today, and on that date, the screening will reopen for the family. The family will receive a notification that it is time to screen again. This allows the family to complete the same screening again, even though the app normally allows only 1 screening per interval. You may also want to note whether the family plans to share the results with their healthcare provider. If you are a home visitor or healthcare provider, you may also want to discuss sharing the results with the child's school or teacher. This section allows you to document which services you discussed with the family. You can indicate if the family declined recommended services, which is their right, or select which services the family plans to pursue. Remember, if the family is not concerned and does not wish to access services, that decision belongs to the parent. You can also indicate if the child is already being evaluated or receiving services. In the additional comments section, your conversations, or any other relevant details. Be sure to click Save. The follow-up form that you complete on the dashboard is not available for families to view unless you select Include Follow-up Form Answers when using the Follow-up Parent Message templates. If you do select this option, it can be a handy reminder to the family of the next steps you recommended. Once you successfully save the form, the follow-up status will change from red to green. You can return to the follow-up form at any time to make edits, add information, or update the rescreen date. Finally, you can visit the library to share suggested activities and tips with families through Sparkler. You can search for play cards based on the child's age and the parent's area of concern. You can review activities by opening the PDF before sending them. When you are ready, click Send or print the PDF to share during an in-person visit. You can also browse tips for parents and caregivers. For example, if a family is seeking information about self-regulation or emotions, you can find tips to help them learn and get started. Often, the follow-up process is ongoing, shaped by the family's concerns and needs. You may revisit these steps in the weeks following a screening to ensure the family understands the results and feels confident supporting their child's early learning and development. If you have any questions, please contact us at support@playsparkler.org. To learn more about Sparkler and developmental screening, visit us online at playsparkler.org.